I had a surprise in the apiary when I got up yesterday morning, and well, stay tuned and I'll show you what was going on. Good morning. Welcome to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is a cold September morning. This is September 18th. Yesterday morning, I get up about 4 a.m., take care of the animals, and get ready to take off and go spend my 12-hour shift at work. So, I just took a quick peek at the bees, and this is what I found. This little swarm had gathered on the backside of the beehive, of this new beehive here. This swarm here, or this beehive, contains an original a swarm that came off of another hive in town that my friend Ken had gotten for me. So these were free bees. Yay, I love free. And he brought them up. We homed them here in these hives, and we split them. So we had one successful split off of this, and then this hive split again through this little swarm. Well, a swarm in September kind of concerns me. There's a couple of reasons why it concerns me. Well, in the first place, swarms are a good sign for a hive that it's really healthy and very viable. So I've got good genetic stock in that hive. It's nature's process of allowing the bees to repropagate and grow the colonies. So it wouldn't bother me too bad if the bees, swarmed and went and found another place to live, because we need more honeybees in the environment. You save the bees, you save the world, is what my motto is here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. So my goal is to do my small part in helping these bees, because they have been on the decline. Last year, most beekeepers lost 40% of their hives. Last year, I lost 100% of my hives. So all of these hives, 2 of them, were actual swarms, which were splits from a mother hive, the same mother hive down in town. And then we split two of those hives later in the summer, and we created we queened them with 2 queens that were purchased and introduced back in May. And now we've got the 4 viable hives, and I just started feeding them about 2 weeks ago, because the honey flow, the nectar flow, has slowed down. We're getting in a time of dearth, so you want to start feeding your bees. With all that food, caused the bees to start building up their brood, and apparently one of my hives became overcrowded, and they got the sense that they needed to swarm. So that's exactly what they did, is they swarmed. What happens in a swarm is that the queen of the hive will leave with about 1/5 to 1/2 of the bees that are there. But in the before she left, she laid a lot of brood, and they formed another queen cell, or a couple of queen cells, or several queen cells. So they've got a queen that they left behind, a new queen. So whatever hive that those bee swarms swarmed out of, I have a new queen in that hive. The old queen came out and swarmed with the rest of them. My main concern with the late summer swarm, early fall swarm, is that the drones. When the drones in the late summer, early fall start returning to the hive from the drone assembly area, where all the drones in the area go up and they swarm and they hover around waiting for a queen to fly into them, and they'll mate with that queen. And then when they're done with that, they'll fly back to the hive. A drone does not feed itself. The honeybees will feed the drone. That's just the nature of what they are. Now when those drones come back in the winter time, as the seasons start getting colder, for the survival of the hives, the worker bees, which are all female, they will stop feeding the drone bees. They'll basically push them down, literally push them out of the hive, and they'll end up dying. And those drones will then become less and less. So there's not enough population of a drone to probably mate with a virgin queen. So when in late summer, early fall, you'll have queen cells. Those queens will hatch, and when they go out on their voyage to get inseminated by the drones, if there's no drones available, you have a virgin queen, and then you do not have a viable hive. A queen is the only bee that can lay eggs that are female eggs. A worker bee may develop, and in some cases, some beekeepers will find a worker bee that is actually laying eggs. But a worker bee can only lay drones, male bees, and so you end up with a hive full of male bees and no female bees to help reproduce and keep the hive going. The hive eventually dies out, and that's my concern here, is do I have a viable queen? Do I have enough drones in the combination of all 4 colonies to be able to inseminate that new queen? So I've got to do a hive inspection. We'll see if I have evidence of any brood in the brood chambers area, and also if I have any drone comb to see if there is enough drone to be able to help that new queen become successful at reproducing. So you may wonder what I did with that swarm. I had to get to work, so I had to leave the swarm hanging. It just so happens my mentor, Ken, is a apprentice beekeeper, and he's also he's in college right now, going through the Master Beekeepers program through the University of Montana and also the University of Oregon. Well, anyway, I let him know when I got to work. I actually work with him where I work, so I let him know what I had, and he called his girlfriend, and she came over and she picked up that swarm that was still there, and she was able to rehome those in a hive that they have. And within the wall of this house, they had a couple of bee hives, and he was able to grab a 15-gallon bucket of just honeycomb. But when the walls fell down, when the demolition crew would knock the walls down, it collapsed the comb one on top of there, smashing a bunch of bees. Unfortunately, he found that the bees' behavior was really cranky, which is a sign of a queenless hive, so he has suspected that the comb had squished and killed the queen. So now he has a queenless hive. He's trying to recomb all those bees over at his place. So now I have this little swarm with a queen, so he was able to introduce that small swarm with a queen into that hive that he got from the extraction to help save those bees. And that's another video on how to combine bees, combine hives, and there's a lot of other videos of professional beekeepers out there that will explain and show you the process. I'm still learning beekeeping, I'm new to beekeeping, and this is just one more show in vlogging my journey at learning and experiencing beekeeping firsthand. So that's the beekeeping story that happened yesterday. Stay tuned for more antics and episodes in the apiary here at Beekeeping at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. We're tucked high in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest. This is September. It's getting really chilly right now. We're expecting rain starting today, going through the week, which is a good thing. We need to suppress these fire dangers. I'm Jerry Hansen, your host. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. You can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Reddit, and Google+. It would help me out if you share my videos on your social media sites. It really helps expand and advertise our channel and gives me more viewers to be able to grow. Also subscribe. For you who haven't subscribed yet, keeps you in touch with new videos as I upload them. Leave a comment if you guys wish. I like answering my commenters, and we'll see you guys again in another video. Bye-bye.